because when you see people doing so well in life, uh, बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. Dr. Bhavdeep is a known name in his circle. In his circle, in the sense, all of us are dentists, all of us are known names in our circles. Not in the dentistry circle as such, per se, but in the name, in the circle that he's actually carved out for himself. Now, he's someone who is very passionately writing about, finances and law, relating to his colleagues. He is actually a master in that, and he's been lecturing. His lectures are so popular throughout the country, and people have given him such rich reviews. Uh, it is really, really very, very satisfying to know someone of his stature who is a master in his field. That means allied fields which help you succeed as a dentist. Now, each one of my students, the interns present here, and my PG students who probably would have logged in by now, now each one of them is aspiring to be a very successful dentist. Hmm, बड़े बंदिਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸੋਚ ਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ. It takes, or it rather takes, a lot more than good clinical knowledge to be a good dentist, to be a successful dentist. ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਐਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਓਕੇ ਵੈਲ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਐਕੈਡੈਮਿਕਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨਾ ਅੱਛਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੋ ਕਾਲਡ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ, they are doing so well. They are doing so well. They are doing well monetarily. Now, there's nothing wrong with being good in academics and someone not being, very good in academics. But the people who are doing so well, despite not being excellent in academics, is only and only because they have been, guided by someone of the like of Dr. Bhavdeep into the nuances of running a practice. ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਪੁੱਛਣੀ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਕਲਾਸੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਪੁੱਛਣੀ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਥਿਊਰੀ ਦਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਹੈ. He is going to first going to look at the way you are, the first impression is going to be your clinic, of course, how it is, how and where it is. The second, how you are dressed up, how professionally you deal with the patient. And then, of course, your work will speak for you. And then the role of academics and your clinical training will come in. Yeah, age old, open secrets. Ne. So, but they have to be actually hammered in and chiseled out into your thinking process. So that is the reason we've called someone like Dr. Bhavdeep, who speaks on such subjects extensively. And then once you are successful, people may get jealous of you. So you may have some litigation coming your way. If that doesn't happen, one of us is going to get unlucky. ਤਾਂ litigation ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿਸੇ ਪਾਸੇ. Then you must also know the nuances of what the law says. So to be a successful practitioner, being a good clinician is paramount. But the additives, ਆਪਾਂ work ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, icing on the cake, which improves the flavoring and the look and everything in life, is to know a lot about what Dr. Bhavdeep is going to tell you. And ironically, his topic today is the title today is something which most of you would probably would not like to listen to. Don't open up a clinic. He's going to ask you not to open up a clinic straight away. I mean, how many of you would want not to do that? Each one of you is, getting desperate. भी ਇੱਥੋਂ ਨਿਕਲੀਏ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ set up ਕਰੀਏ. So this impatience kills. Impatience ही बंदे ਨੂੰ ਖਰਾਬ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ. You have to wait for the fruit to get ripe and then fall into your lap. ਐਵੇਂ ਲੱਤਾਂ ਤੁੜਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਜੰਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਵੀਂ ਦਰਖਤਾਂ ਚੜੀ ਫਿਰੋ ਤੇ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਡਿੱਗੋ ਤੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? You understand what? So I thank you, Dr. Bhavdeep, for finding time for us. Believe me, the batch that you are saying is a very talented batch and a very gifted batch. They are a very hardworking batch also. They've done us well and they are preparing well. Very soon, we are going to be holding test series for them. They'll be, taking the NEET exam and maybe the exams or tests to go abroad early or late next year. So I hope they will also do well like their predecessors. The college, already is doing pretty good. It's all because of the hard work of my faculty, the very talented people who sitting in front of you. Although all of us are masked, you'll not be able to identify most of them, even if you know them. Um, but then again, the college is doing well because of all these, the good work and the hard efforts of all these many people. So I thank you very much, Dr. Bhavdeep, again, once again. Thank you for being a part of the webinars. We are holding one webinar every week, and we will continue to do that at least for the next 2 months. COVID ने ਸਾਨੂੰ एक chance ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ to when we had a lot of free time and the online things started. So we wanted our interns to benefit from the hard work and the knowledge of so many people like you. So we hope this learning continues lovingly, and good luck to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And now over to Dr. Bhavdeep with his deliberation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunana, for a wonderful introduction. Dr. Kalsi, you really hit the nail on the head, and I really bow down to you for giving me such a warm welcome. Virtually, of course, COVID times discounted, we are not allowed to be uh, being physically with each other as the system has been before, or say before COVID, and still we are not totally in after COVID era, or BC or AC as we say. We are still in the DC era during COVID era. So let me share my screen first so that I can be. Is my screen visible, ma'am? Are you muted?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, great. And now is it full screen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you so much. So I won't call you students, my dear colleagues. We all in a few months' time you'll be graduating out, and then we all will be peers in profession. So I don't treat I don't use a word rather as a senior or a junior in my language wherever I deliberate or lecture. We all are peers in profession, and we all learn from each other. And this is the way I have been say accorded a wonderful opportunity over here. And big thanks to Dr. Sunana, Dr. Kalsi, and the whole organizing and the management of the BJ's Dental College Hospital and Research Institute. So the topic what I'm going to be speaking on today would be uh, never be in a rush to open a new dental clinic. And this is the one topic which is very close to my heart. And because we all see ultimately there are a few avenues for all of us. So once we graduate out of the college, some of you will go in for PG, some of you will go abroad, or maybe some of you will say think about other avenues. A few's parents will think about marriage prospects also. A few would be couples already in a lighter vein, if I may say so. And going in for maybe the tying the nuptial knot. But yes, ultimate aim for every dentist would be private practitioner, because usually people believe, and that is not a common myth, I will say, that is the normal scenario, but that is where usually the money lies. And that is where we have to think that the private practice is going to make a big difference in our life. So all my presentations always begin with thanking the Lord Almighty, who's given me much more than what I deserve. So this is my brief biodata. Dr. Sunana and Dr. Kalsi also, sir, has also briefed you about this. So this is the lecture series for today, for October. I'm the fourth one in the series. Never be in a hurry to open your new clinic. So these will be the topics I'll be covering in brief over my 1 hour, 10-minute presentation from now. What are the points to be thought of when you open a new clinic, and the general precautions or the considerations you have to take in mind before you open up a new clinic. So you all have to smile together before opening a clinic. When we talk of the present era, it is very competitive, and we all know clinic opening is like a atonement. In Hindi, if I say, it is like a tapasya. It is not say clinic that मैं bore हो रहा था तो मैंने clinic खोल लिया, as it used to happen in my times. Even I can say my time, because I am 20 plus 21st into 21st year of practice. I started with the new millennium. Having graduated in 98, I started my practice in the new millennium on 1st Jan 2000. So it will be 21 years completing on 31st December. So, but the scenario at that time was that I was working in a hospital in the morning, Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital, immediately after my graduation. I joined on 2nd of July only, just a day after my graduation. So, but yes, private practice came to me 1.5 years later than that. But in those times, people used to open time clinic because I was getting bored. I had nothing to do in the evening, so I opened up the clinic. I opened up with the second-hand setup. But why I'm telling you these things is because this is not possible in today's times. You really have to plan and really have to plan well. Unless you plan well, you cannot be, say, assured of uh, success in today's journey. So it is a very complex and a time-consuming project in today's times. And because we are not just the dentist, the clinical part, as Dr. Kalsi sir also said, it is not only the clinical part you have to do, because you have to don so many hats. You have to be a CEO, you have to be an entrepreneur, you have to be a financial guru, you have to say learn the nuances of ethics, you have to know about the law. Ignorance is never a bliss unless you can't hide under the excuse that you don't know. And so the thing is not applicable to you. You really have to be aware of many of these things. So you have to don various hats. And believe me, some of us, some of the peers may get lucky, but a clinic like a pregnancy, of course, it takes more than a pregnancy. Pregnancy will still take 9 months, but clinic gestation period would be longer than a pregnancy. Occasionally, as I said, people might be lucky, but it does not happen in every case. And people say that we just zero down on a good location and have good materials and sit down. Is that enough? No, not really. Why? Because when I opened up 21, almost 21 years back, it was never thought, because the dentist or private clinics were in scarcity at that time. But what exactly was the preference over there? जिस क्लिनिक में एक है उस जगह खोल लो, घर के पास खोल लो, all those little things. But in today's times, you have to look into so many factors. I'll try to brief all that in my 1 hour presentation. So yes, saturation is a reality, at least in the urban areas. Why do I say so? As per the DCI data only, the 25% India's population, if we divide it roughly, it is 75% in rural areas and 25% in urban areas. Of course, 5% here and there, but this is the broad figure. But what is actually causing the problem is that 75% of the total Indian dentists are practicing in that 25% of the urban areas. And the remaining 25% dentists are practicing in the 75% of rural areas. That is where the mismatch happens, and that is where the, say, scenario happens where we try to pull down each other's leg, and then, say, bad ethics creeps in and creates a problem. So you have to, say, plan, organize, control, lead. There are so many things you have to do while thinking of opening a new clinic. You can't do all these things once you open up. You have to plan, and plan really well. Unless you do so, you will be, say, left to kick about it. So we always say that there are too many clinics of the same kind who don't offer anything unique. So does the practice, you all have to find your unique differentiator, which can appeal to everyone. And practice is a very hard nut to crack, which can say happen with even the, say, people who are having great skills. But if we speak practically, the clinical side is only the half of what we need to do in a private dental clinic. And we need to understand the business side as well. And it was not that 4-5 lakh rupees le lo aur clinic open kar lo. It is not like that in today's times. You can't really actually do that, because these were the things. You really need to have a good, say, good looking clinic. And because dentists are supposed to be, or believed to be, say, very expensive people, and they actually, say, charge very much. Of course, we have our expenses also on that, so that is a topic for another day altogether. But then you need to put up a good strong show before you open up. So how do we take care of all those factors, and how do we actually, say, plan those things? And the only thing is that we need good guidance from our peers, seniors, well-wishers, or whatever. Say, I'm telling you today, maybe you can pick a thing or two from the same today. So always, the basic thing you have to start is that you always start and think like a patient first. Do not jump into this thing straight away. It is easy to cut a ribbon, but as we say, opening clinic is like paddling upway the hill, and when you are halfway, you actually need to pedal the double, because unless you do that, you'll fall down. Because people feel relaxed कि अब clinic खुल गया, clinic में बैठ गए, the job is done. It is not exactly, it is just the halfway, and at halfway you require double the energy. And then I always believe that there are a few points, there are a few questions you need to ask yourself. Are you ready to take the plunge? Because nobody will start. Okay, occasionally, as I said, occasionally you may be lucky, but nobody would be say very uh, profitable from the day one. But what is that brutal truth? The brutal truth is that we need to give in some time, and there are two reasons. Because we have to trust our instincts, our self confidence. Unless we do that, unless we are lucky, unless we are, say, fortunate, it's good. But you really need to put in good set of, say, hard work for that. And then you have to believe in your way of working, your principles, which have to be set. And unless you do that, you will not be able to succeed. Why do I say so? Because people believe that छोटा सा जगह लेके या छोटी सी clinic खोल लेते हैं, and if you open in a small way, people won't notice. You will have lesser patients, but your initial costing and overheads would be less. But then you'll be like a Bollywood movie that also ran. But then there is a flip side to that as well. If you open in a big way at the beginning, your investments would be major, your overheads would be escalated, and there may be patients, but they may not be good enough to give you profit. They may be good enough to cover the running cost, because that is where the balance has to be maintained, where you actually need to go about. So the success has to be thought of in a way. So either you keep loads of patients, which unfortunately in today's times is lacking in many of us. uh, there are a lot many other headaches along with the private practice: the government regulations, the biomedical waste paperwork, the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board or the AERB regulations, the corporation bylaws of, say, opening up in residential areas, all those nuisance, because officially nothing is allowed, unofficially everything is allowed. And unofficially means bribery, of course, in today's scenarios. Then the record keeping part, there are two kinds of record keeping as well: your financial record keeping and your patient record keeping. Patient record keeping is mandatory as per law also, since the DCI guidelines, revised guidelines 2014 came in. Then managing your staff, then managing your clinic profitably, managing your bank and finance, all these things. As I said, you have to don various hats. And it is like a full-fledged business. Whatever people might say, yes, it is a good, noble profession. But why I call it a business is because at the end of the day, wherever there is a, say, I&E, income and expenditure involved, that is a business. And for running our shop, we don't need half-hearted mayors. We need actually, say, full-blown mayors. So why do I say so? Are you ready? Are you ready to take the plunge? I always call that consider yourself in 10 aspects. And what are those 10 aspects? Number one, are you mentally ready? Are you mature enough to handle a tough situation and not panic in case of an eventuality? Because there will be problems in clinic. It is not a cakewalk. You will have cases much different to what you have done in the college. And in college, when you are attempting the things, you know that somewhere is there at the back end, or someone is there above you who can handle if you, say, if you commit a mistake. But there is nothing such thing in a private practice. Yes, of course, a good associate or a good working team, or a, if I can say, a good visiting consultant is a, say, bless. But maybe some of us don't think on those lines. Then the second aspect is financially. Are you ready financially? As I said, you might not be profitable from day one. So are you able to, or say, bear a loss initially, or maybe break even, so and you don't carry home? People say that मैं घर में कुछ कमा के ना लेके जाऊं तो मेरे को तो कोई फर्क नहीं है, लेकिन मेरे पेरेंट्स के ताने मार देते हैं मुझे. So these are the things sometimes colleagues will always say about. So when you are financially stable, you will feel confident. But then you remember that you have to pay your bills. Even many of us who were say 5 to 10 years, even guys who were 5 to 10 years in practice, 7 months down the line, uh, March 2020, when 2020, sorry, when lockdown was inserted. In 1 month or so, many say dentists were literally crying. They were saying, "How will I run my home? How will I run my clinic? How will I pay my bills?" Because the bills were coming. Yes, the salaries will stop, but the electricity bill and the say water bill or the other expenses were being there. You were not escaping from that. So you need to be financially stable. You need to have some capital at the back end. Then are you ready to take the plunge socially? Always necessary that you know a few people in your area, and that is where your communication skills come in. You need to develop or learn the art of practice management as well. And where you should have the courage to, you might be introvert in your life, but for a clinical sojourn you have to have the courage to talk to new people. And of course these things improve with time. No one is a born perfectionist, but and no one will ever become a perfectionist as well, but you gradually improve each day, learn each day, and as you go on, things will get better. So clinic exercise is always going to be the one which will give you a good amount of headache. Then the fourth aspect, are you ready to bear the same psychologically? Because there will be nil patients in the beginning. There will be a occasional walk-in patient who will see your waiting area uh, and as with the nil patient. And sometimes people have a sarcastic tone to what they do, and they'll say, "आपके पास कोई patient नहीं आता है." And that is where you need to maintain your cool, and those things should not dent your confidence. But yes, you should be say confident enough to bounce back from your failures, because as they say, when life gives you lemons, learn to make a lemonade, or have sandwiches ready, as I always say. So you have to learn to pick yourself up and adapt to circumstances. So you have to make yourself psychologically strong. Then the biggest part, for which of course your college and you are responsible, more so you, because the college is giving education and knowledge to every one of you, but how many of you carry exactly or actually, it depends upon individually of you. Are you ready to take the plunge skill wise? Can you handle your say profession or whatever things you have say jotted down that this is my skill area? Have you done that? And hard work will pay off. Malcolm Gladwell is a very famous Canadian author, and he said that 10,000 hours of practice at one thing will make you an expert. But remember, 10,000 is an average for a scenario. It is not an actual thing. So you need to understand. And I'll give a reference of a 2009 Bollywood film over here, Chandni Chowk to China. मुझे तुम्हारी उन 10,000 मूव से कोई खतरा नहीं है जिसकी प्रैक्टिस तुमने एक बार की है, पर मुझे तुम्हारी उस एक मूव से खतरा है जिसकी प्रैक्टिस तुमने 10,000 बार की है. So make yourself perfect in one thing. You can't be a jack of all. Remember, today is not a time of jack of all also, and master of none. And today's times have changed. I always call it, today is the time of master of few. Make those things perfect. You can't do or can't attempt everything in your practice. Learn to identify your say thought process, learn to identify your skill set, learn to identify where your say practicality lies, and pick that task and make yourself perfect in that. Because practice and practice and practice is always will always be your ticket to success. Because the formula is very simple. It involves three factors. To learn what others already know, you learn from their success and failures. It is always better to learn from other successes and failures. Don't commit everything. You will not have time in your whole life to commit every mistake and improve from that. Then the second thing would be use your inborn talent, which you can improve with time and skill and energy. Then take your own time for a thing. as the best is to take the advantage of time by investing it. So the shorter term your vision is, the more time works against you. Remember this thing. These are the three laws of skill. Then the sixth factor, for these are the 6 out of the 10 factors I always mention. Are you ready to take the plunge contact wise? You should have a good circle of dentist friends. As I said, having a good team is good. Maybe you can't be, say, thinking to afford in that arena of having a good team in the beginning. Maybe if you have opened in a small or a medium way, yes, in a big way you will say go about the task of identifying your multi-speciality practice and work in a similar way. But if not, if you're opened in a smaller way, you need to have a good contact of dentist friends who you may be calling for referral, because you will not be doing all things yourself. ये चीज आज कैरी होम पॉइंट में नंबर 1 कैरी कर लीजिए. You will not be attempting every specialty in your clinic, even if you know it. You should not be doing it. These are the things of general dentistry. Yes, the basic things aside, but leave certain things for specialists. Do not attempt everything others otherwise. So always say network with the good friends, good practitioners, good dentist friends, which who will actually say help you in tiding over that area. Then balance wise, are you ready to take the plunge balance wise? Because a new clinic will demand a completely undivided attention, no half-hearted measures. Of course, you may say that I will not have time, I'll work overtime. मेरे clinic का time अगर 7 बजे तक होता, I'll work till 9, I'll do hard work. But remember, you have to maintain a balance in your life also. Because family will always be family, and you have to balance that out. And it should always be a first priority as well. So we should know how to balance those things. As Thomas Merton also said, happiness is not a matter of intensity, but of balance, order, rhythm, and harmony. So, have you ever seen, of course, COVID times, again discounted. We used to visit the Shara Mela or any other, say, Mela in any circus. Any rope walker, if you have seen, he's walking on a rope while balancing with a, say, stick, long stick. Then he keeps a chair on his shoulders. Then a child is sitting on the top of that, and on top of that he's say carrying some bricks as well. So this is a thing which is actually balancing task, and which you have to do as well in your clinic. And whenever you feel, or whenever he even the tightrope walker feels that the balance is going haywire, he stops, he balances himself, and then he actually say goes about that task, and he's just a step away from a fall. So you should also try to balance yourself and learn from your experiences, because whatever कहते हैं ना, खुद मरोगे तभी स्वर्ग मिलेगा, किसी और के मरने से नहीं मिलता है. So no one can see, feel, think, breathe, experience, love, or die for us. So you have to remember this thing. So these are a few considerations I'm discussing. Then this dedication or devotion wise. So you will have free time, lot of free time in your practice. Use that to update yourself in all spheres. And as I said, opening clinic is like a tapasya, atonement. And unless you say really mean that word, you will not be growing in practice. And you have to be literally devoted towards that task primarily. Then what are the 8 characteristics of dedicated people? Commitment. You need to be committed. Belief, passion. Just a minute, please, just a minute. So, sorry. Commitment, belief, trusting yourself, passion, planning, flexibility, self-discipline, voice, and inspiration. These are a few characteristics of dedicated people. Then for any, say, excelling in any skill, you will need to, say, change your attitude also, because there are many, say, things called as habits which become behaviors unless you, say, try to change them willfully. So dedicated people will set goals to establish a plan and a path to success, and they have the belief in their abilities, and even on their bad days they will stick to their original plan, and they don't feel like doing that day. So it is all about passion and commitment. and which you can achieve with practice. Then the ninth important task is spirituality wise. Having faith in God and Lord Almighty and your luck is paramount. So if you allow your negative thoughts to come in, that अगर मैं fail हो गया तो, अगर ये नहीं हुआ तो, you should have the ability to trust God, because nothing moves in this world because without His will, and unless you take His word for granted, or say His word as final, you have to believe that He is the one who is guiding all of us. So this is the, say, blueprint of my renovation done in my clinic front just 1.5 year or 2 years back almost. We started with this, and the final design is almost like this. The exterior is one thing I was always fond of renovating in a big way, in a in in limited manner, whatever I can. And lastly, but not the least, but the most important of all those 10 aspects, of course, not to undermine any of those 9, but the 10th one is how you handle your emotions. There will be a time when you sit for the whole day till 8 o'clock. What is your closing time? Whatever is your closing time in the practice. And at 8 o'clock, a denture patient comes in for, say, grinding of a sharp point. And uh, there may be a scenario where a 5 unit bridge or a 2 unit implant case comes in. The only thing is that you have to control your emotions very strongly. For an implant or a bridge, there should not be a Cadbury ad kind of approach. Why do I say Cadbury ad kind of approach? Man mein laddu phoota. That is the most common thing. You try to jump all the guidelines, you told bypass all the, say, norms, and try to do, because you have been sitting vacant all day. Don't do that. Always have a system to work. Always, say, have a proper practice. Of course, record keeping and all those things are a topic for another day altogether. But then this is where you need to be emotionally strong, and do not crib about when even a denture patient is there. So you need to understand. You need to understand that your emotions should be controlled. क्या बोलते हैं ना, शाम सुबह से लेके शाम तक फ्री बैठो जो प्रैक्टिस में, तो दिमाग का दही बन जाता है. So yes, they say in the Mumbai language. I give lectures, lot of my lectures in Maharashtra and Gujarat. So a lot of my language is Mumbai language only when I give examples sometimes. So you have to be emotionally strong and adapt well to things like stress, trauma, adversity, or tragedy. So whenever you're looking to set up a new clinic, you have to be ready in these 10 aspects. And I have a, say, book coming up also on these aspects, wherein these things have been detailed quite a lot. So whenever you open or think to open a clinic, you have to forego thinking like a dentist. Think like a patient. किसी किसी दिन किसी जगह किसी भी क्लिनिक में एक पेशेंट की तरह एंटर कीजिए, मे बी योर फ्रेंड्स प्लेस, and try to see those things which you want in that practice. And when you open up or when you want to open up a clinic, you don't have to worry कि मेरा clinic lab से कितना दूर है, bus stand train से कितना दूर है, because the economical way is not the only way to start. As a patient, you need to understand that a good comfortable interior is a must. Then I'm coming to the size wise part now. So in bigger cities, of course, we fall in the, say, tier 2 city. But in a bigger city, a commercial complex with a eating joint and another 150 shops in a mall, or say, will not be a good option, because sometimes you can get lost in the crowd, and you won't be able to create an identity of your own. And in similar case scenarios, a mall is preferred in those places, because shopping complexes are meant for middle class in those cities, and uh, for lower class to, say, for their shopping based needs, basically. Then shopping complexes also have small shops which are not much known brands, and they may be good for a modest clinic, but because there will be hardly any window shopping involved. But then when you start on a main road next to a, say, maybe a jewelry shop or a gold shop, where the ladies are fond of shopping for gold, so your clinic would be visible, and that gold shop would become a, say, a landmark. That is where the importance of that place comes in. So there are various aspects you have to consider. So because, yeah, it is always said that opening a clinic will seem like a wool at the start, but it is the outer shell of coconut later on, which rarely opens up itself. So whenever you see the location, you must be completely and passively convinced about the same. Because it used to happen in past time that people just saw that area where there were lesser number of clinics. I'm talking of the recent 5 to 10 years, not much back. जहाँ पे कम डेंटिस्ट है वहाँ पे क्लिनिक खोल, irrespective of all other factors. जहाँ पे कम है कहीं ना कहीं वहाँ पे भी saturation आएगी. You have to, you don't need to forget that fact. So what exactly you need to, do a proper survey. Luckily, most of the counselors will have all the list, because the first thing you need to identify is who do you want to treat. They always say in practice management, जब भी मैं lecture देता हूँ practice management, I always say the number one thing is KYS, as in the words of KYC, we all know your customer. So KYS is know yourself. What is your thought process? What is your say skill set? What is your target group? Then the second thing is KYP, know your patient, who you want to treat, middle class, higher class, super class, lower class. But some people are happy to treat in lower charges for everyone. They want to do the hard work more in that regards, and do less of the smart work. So for startup, you need to have a few referrals for sure. As I said, you need to know a few people in your area socially, and initially, and the best way would be the shopkeepers in that area. So patients will have to be attracted maybe by external marketing, which is of course allowed by the DCA also. But there can be other ways in today's times, as social media marketing, online presence, website, all those things. Before, the best approach, the word of mouth. Conventionally, word of mouth has been the best approach, but yes, in today's times you can't expect one to be patient, because word of mouth used to take its action in 2 to 5 years, and people, I've seen clinics closing down in 6 months as well, even in my area. So maybe in 6 to 8 months, or maybe 10 to 12 months, which is a very lesser time, because the running expenses are high. People didn't do the survey, people didn't say actually go about that task, that where does their practice revenue will come from. And all those instincts, as I said, will help you in your self confidence levels. So if your clinic is on rental basis, the only question is, because you will not be entering into a clinic straight away, you will need to renovate that area, whatever it is, or do the interiors of that area. But your rental will start from the day you start your, say, do your contract. Whatever time it will take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever time you are going to take. Are you able to, as I said, financially, are you able to bear that amount for that period? If answer is a no, then you have to be on your toes. You have to really say make a say arrangement for those things, or be financially ready in some or the other aspect. Then be confident. Be confident of what you want to do, what you want to attempt in your practice. As I said, improvise your clinical or communication skills. Socially, you need to do that. Then before opening up, you need to know at least one chair technician. Mostly people start with a one chair practice. Mostly newbies, I'll say, start with a one chair practice. And uh, especially say the girls, and they actually say hate to do any electrical work. Changing a chair bulb is not a difficult task. But then if you have a skilled chair technician close by, or who can come whenever you want, or then it becomes an easy task. If you have a second chair, then it does not make a difference. But you have a single chair, your bulb goes boom, which is hardly a thing costing 30 to 40 rupees. Of course, people will have a spare bulb and hardly requires two small nuts to open and just make a connection. But if you don't know how to do that, you'll be say off for the day, or till the time your technician comes in. Then you need to have a say repo with a good dental laboratory. There will be many people who will be actually say uh, having a good experience. Your friends who maybe have opened up clinic before, they know which lab is good, because majority of the dentist revenue will come from lab based work only. Then, as I said, you need to have a say contact wise also. a team of friends, specialists from different streams who are going to help you in any case of a problem, in case of any problem, in any say problems in practice. Then design your SOPs first, standard operating procedures or standard operating protocols. You have to do. In COVID times, we, even those who were not doing it, were forced to do that, because how will the patient enter, how will he be seated, how will he be sanitized, how will he enter the clinic? There is a proper procedure and a protocol, and adopt or make a similar one for every task in your practice. And believe me, this is the homework you need to do before your practice. Then be ready with your staff members. Any one clinic should also have minimum two staff members, because one of the staff members should be in the waiting area and the other staff member will be inside, and they both should know each other's job, so that even if one day one of them is on leave, the other one can pitch it for that task in those places. Then set your objectives and your aims, how you want to grow. Obviously, if you started with the one chair, you will not be limited to that area. If you are in a rental area, you will not be wanting to limit to that area. You'll want to grow in life. Decide the number of chairs if you even start with one, and whether that would be a new, a second hand, or say refurbished one. You have all the options available in these two days, and the company, the make, the color, all those things need to be taken care of. Then always plan for the space through an architect, and not a good architect, but with an architect with a experience of dental clinic. There may be very good architects, but they have very less experience of handling a dental clinic. Believe me, it is true. One of my architects who did the front elevation 1.5 2 years back for my clinic, he is a very known architect. He had zero knowledge of the inside. He could plan out those things, but he had no idea about the say other regulations, the AERB regulations, the say biomedical waste regulations, the plumbing work, the electricity work. He had no idea about that, and he has been in business for 20 years. So go for the architect who has an experience of handling a dental clinic. Then space for each operator. The clinical establishment bill has made it mandatory for many of us. Uh, a minimum required area in waiting would be 50 square meters and 100 square meters in the operating area. For a one chair setup, 150 square say feet of area is mandatory in today's times. You can't have lesser than that. And for any additional area, you need to have 75 square feet. So that means if you are planning on two chairs, you need to have a 225 square feet of area. Of course, the clinical establishment bill has not been passed fully, but this is the proposed draft mode, which has been which has been passed by many say which was given for consideration to many say societies and even the councils, even the dental council and the idea also. So then what are the kind of equipment you will choose? Believe me, in today's work, we are fascinated by the Facebook dentistry. Maybe some of you might not be, but colleagues who may be 2, 3, 5, 4, 10 in practice, they are fascinated by and say feel say missing out, or say the FOMO approach, the fear of missing out. Somebody might be a surgeon, but if somebody we all know how many types of cases are shared on Facebook or social media. Most of them are endo cases or root canal cases. You might be a surgeon, you have no aptitude for say white lines or say endo. Then why do you need to invest in a endodontic equipment arena? Why do you need to do that? Because simply you are a surgeon, it is your specialty which will actually be you should be interested in. As I said, you should not be focusing on all specialty. Focus on those specialties which you love. The Rajiv Verma sir always says like subject and a love subject. If you don't have an aptitude for blood, obviously you will do things where there is not any blood involved. Pick up your say thought process, pick up your aptitude, and choose your specialty. Then electrical work and plumbing or work plan. If it is a your space, your own space, your own area, maybe in your house, maybe in your say your own plot, but you are wanting to open up with a single chair, open up with a single chair, but have a margin for plumbing or electrical connection beforehand. This is one thing I really feel maybe lucky or blessed, I can say. I started in my residence only on 1st Jan 2000, and for 3 years I was working in that clinic. It was a 10 by 7 clinic with a second hand chair, and I opened clinic for fun, as I said. But after 2.5 years, yes, parallelly running with that, we bought a place where I'm currently sitting, uh, which is just across, say, adjoining the plot, but opens up on the main road. That was in the first lane, close to the say main road where my house is. So it opens up on the main road. The two plots are joined up. So we took it after 2.5 years, and on 1st Jan 2003, exactly after 3 years, I shifted into this place, and I started with two chairs, but I have a provision for the third chair at that time only. The plumbing work or the say electrical connections or the sewerage part all has been undergone in 2000, done in 2002 at that time, and I didn't have an architect. That is why I say I was lucky and blessed that God gave me this amount of knowledge that I could handle those things even without prior thinking of that part. But you need to why I'm telling you these things is you need to plan those things priorly, because 5 साल बाद 7 साल बाद आपका दिल करे कि मैंने क्लिनिक 2 से 3 करनी है, 3 से 4 करनी है, तो you should have a provision for that. Aim big, aim for the larger picture. If you have, especially if you have the area, you need to, आप वहां पे टाइलें अगर दोबारा खुड़वाएंगे, maybe you are not sure that you will get the same tiles again, because the models and the designs keep on changing. So then you either you'll have to say do with a different color tile, a different design tile, or maybe you have to change the whole flooring. So think and plan on those lines. Then marketing from the day you have possession of area or space, opening soon, or say contact wise build up with your area shopkeepers. And as I said, the grapevine follows suit majorly from the local area shopkeepers. So anyone, even if you're one chair, even if you are two chair, have provision for at least one more chair in future. Maybe you don't open up, that is, you don't set it up, that is a different thing, but you always should have an option for that. Options don't always spoil in life. And as I said, electrical plumbing work should be done. This will actually be a catalyst for you as well to grow. uh, your clinic, as I said, interior should be, if you're short on budget, it should be a comfortable interior, need not be flashy, need not be you need not be spending exorbitant amount on that, but it should be comfortable interiors. It should be good looking. Most of you are females. I always advise whenever I give lectures, most of the dentists are married at that time, so I always advise the male dentist, clinic में जाइए, अपनी बीवी या अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड को लेके जाइए, and tell him to look in the corners. Whatever dust or whatever the pinpoint the females can point out, the males can't do that. So of course this is the inbred talent in them. But yes, you need to, as I said, you have to forego thinking like a dentist, you have to think like a patient. So then ask yourself, as I said about the differentiation part, you won't want to be the like a Bollywood film that also ran. So why should a patient choose you? What is your niche? What is your USP? What is your differentiation? The one word which can differentiate you is your online presence. Whatever skill you have, unless people know it, how will they enter it? कहते हैं ना, पिक्चर जितनी अच्छी लगी हो, 10 लोग देखेंगे तो पता लगेगा ना, कि 10 लोग देखेंगे तो 100 लोग को पता लगेगा कि पिक्चर अच्छी है. I'm talking of a medium budget film like with a say lesser known star cast, something like a Vicky Donor, which came about 10 years ago. Nobody knew Ayushmann Khurrana before that, but a few people went in. They said the movie is amazing, and that is how the word of mouth spread. So you should have an online presence. It can be a free web page. It can be, of course, a static website if you don't want to go in for a dynamic website. A free web page is free, of course. A free website is also say static website is also like a free thing, costs hardly from 3 to 4,000 rupees. But the static has a limitation that you can't repeatedly go on changing. But you can obviously anytime shift from static to dynamic website. Dynamic is where you can make changes. You or your designer can make changes yourself. Then create your USP. Create one thing which will separate you from the crowd. If you say I do everything in my practice, you can't do that. You have to build something which will separate you from the crowd. So be ready with a list of treatment charges. You're lucky we are in Ludhiana. If most of you are from Ludhiana, Ludhiana has been the first IDEA branch which passed the minimum list of treatment charges on 1st July. on the Doctor's Day. It was launched. So it is already ready with us. We don't need to design it ourselves. But if not, if you are from other cities, most of the IDA branches are not coming up with. The only problem is that IDA membership is just 25%. There are more than 3 lakh dentists in India, and even a HO, IDHO head office has 70 to 75,000 members. And similarly, more than 800 dentists in India, and the local branch has membership around 200 to 25 only. So it is not the branch's fault; it is our fault, because we feel that what will IDA give us? We forget that this is the only common platform which will grant us unity. Then, when you need to say start your clinic, you need to buy some material also. Always keep your material stock as low as possible. Don't go in for big deals, because you need to understand and accept the reality that you will not have more patients in the beginning. So then, as I said, various regulatory, make a list of all the permissions. With the if the clinical establishment bill, as the draft mode comes in toto, you'll have the fire safety also permissions to be taken up. The AIRB also is already there. The biomedical is also there. The corporation bylaws are also there. The house tax converted now into property tax is also there. So there are many things which you need to know. And always advisable is indemnity insurance for yourself, and other kind of insurances for your say equipment also, especially for a heavy equipment, if you're not ready to, or say not willing to bear the losses. So I'm sure you can identify with lot many points which I mentioned. So let's summarize and give you a few carry home points. And I call that as my 12-20 formula. Uh, in exactly, if I speak the 32 tips, the 32 tips needed for the dentist. Sorry, the line is missing over here. The 32 tips identifying with the 32 teeth of the dentist, or for anyone, of course, not for the dentist. So how to establish and maintain a dental office. So let me first tell you the 12 tips. So I told you already. So this is just a summary. Survey and get a feedback of the area. We are lucky that the local counselor will have all the target population area of what the population is. Is it primarily a business class? Is it primarily a service class? Because the service class and the business class timings will be separate. The service class will go from 8:30 or 9 to 5 or 6 in the evening. Their housewives will be there, or whether the husband and wife both are working, majority of course. The business will go at around 11 or 12 to the factory, and will come around say 9 or 10 p.m. in the evening. So there accordingly you have to target what you want to target. If you are a say late getter, late in getting up from your bed in the morning, then you really need to identify that these things should not be matching. So again, those two things, as I said, KYS and KYP, know yourself and know your patient, will come in handy. Of course, this KYS and KYP part I discussed a lot separately in the practice management section. Then getting to know the pocket of your potential clients. That'll be clear from the survey and the data of the area. Know what you're going to dish out. What is your niche? What is your USP? What is your differentiator? Then take a pre feedback. Amir Khan is very famous for that. He shoots his movie. Of course, I'm talking about the novel times, not the COVID times. He shoots his movie and then keeps a screening for selected people, and shows his say movie to selected people, takes a feedback, and then makes the changes accordingly. And once the movie comes after 6 months of that pre-feedback scenario, we say what a perfectionist Amir Khan is. There is a lot going into that. Of course, there is a lot riding on him also, money wise also, fame wise also. But then he can afford it. Not everyone can. But take a pre-feedback of the area. What exactly is lacking in that area? You need to really look out. Just looking out कि इस area में dentist कितने हैं, you need to do other things. Then marking out your X factor. What is one thing which you will excel at? It is not that maybe three orthodontists are sitting in that area, and if you are an orthodontist and you don't want to sit in that area because you feel that your say specialty is already been consumed in that. No, you really need to create your own market by that way. Then differentiate yourself from the crowd separately. Give a good taste coupled with a brilliant service. uh, Internal marketing, see, always we say that external marketing is one thing which will bring patient in. I always give the example of the Bollywood Khans, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Amir Khan, what Akshay Kumar, what all these big stars do. They pull in the crowd on a Friday based on their face value. But Once the audience is in, after that the content does the talking. Of course, in today's era of social media, Monday onwards nahi, Saturday onwards picture pit jati hai, but Friday to Saturday they can still pull in the crowd based on their face value, but Monday onwards only the content will do the talking. So whatever amount of flashy advertisements you may do, bypassing the DCI norms or not, that is again a different story altogether. Whatever you may do, and once you say you attract the patient, once the patient enters into your clinic, your external marketing ceases to act, and at that point your internal marketing takes over. And that is where you need to realize that your internal marketing is the more important part of your patient handling. Your how you handle your patient, how you greet your patient, how you say manage your patient. Treatment wise, either say ऐसे भी और वैसे भी. ऐसे भी means treatment wise, वैसे भी means in a way you can say deal with the patient, or say you can be a pain free dentist, you can be a no pain dentist, whatever your specialty is. You have to bank on your skill and confidence for that. This internship is the best time for you to do that. Identify those areas where you know your skills can be honed. It does not mean that you relinquish all the other specialties altogether. Go on doing it. There might be times when you might be needing to do the basic work of that, but start identifying your say aptitude, what your like subject is, what your love subject is, and accordingly plan or direction your life. Then trust your own abilities. Unless you trust your own abilities, people will not do so, because the first belief has to come from you only. Then do a SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So this is the one which has been done given by Humphrey uh, in the 60s. Uh, then you have to play smart. It is an era of not only hard work but smart work as well. Never lose hope, because as I said, those 10 aspects will come in handy. And from and that the ninth was the spirituality part, or the say faith in Lord Almighty part. So never lose hope in that regards. So if you're having a feeling of eureka, there is more to come. So as I said, do your SWOT analysis, know your strengths, know your love subjects, and do not worry that you don't know any business. Uh, Most of us are not businessmen. Most of us are dentists only. Uh, there might be a few whose minds might be clicking on those lines, but most of us don't do. We have to practice those things. We have to learn those things. So then take advantage of opportunities. A rent or a say closed market with full competition, where you feel that you don't have any scope, build in your pitch in yourself in that arena. Then never bother about threats or patient awareness in those that, because patient awareness is one thing which is a key indicator in that. And I always call information and education for the patient awareness part. And that is one thing. uh, do you will you believe if I say that only 5% of Indian population gets dental treatment done? And remember, even if 5% more get their treatment done, what will be the scenario of the Indian dentistry? Just 10%. This is still 10% of the total figure. So we are sitting at 20 figures, cutting each other's throats, slashing each other's back, say hitting, hitting ourselves with daggers, और say एक दूसरे की बुराई करते हैं clinic में बैठे. And that is where we actually pitfall at. We should actually use our threats or our competition to our advantage, increase more patient awareness, because as you do that, there'll be plenty of work for everyone. And I always say one thing, because I'm a strong believer of in the ninth concept of spirituality wise, as I say, because I believe हर एक को भगवान ने अगर दुनिया में गिराया है, of course गिराया ही है या birth दिया, whatever you can say, गिराया तो feed करना भी उसका काम है, hard work करना हमारा काम है, but the major thing he has to do it. So we stop trusting him, and that is where the pitfall lies. And the problem is that we actually can learn every day. And as I said, life बहुत छोटी है. अगर हम हर गलती खुद करके देखेंगे तो दूसरों की गलतियों से सीखना सीखिए, because once you do that, uh, life will be rosy. And the problem is that we want to attend a practice management lecture where I always face this situation. People come to me in a tea break or a lunch break, सर कुछ टिप्स दीजिए कि मेरी प्रैक्टिस रात में स्काई रॉकेट कर जाए. There is nothing called as a say magic wand or a say magic potion or a syrup which I'll give you and you will drink and your practice will boom overnight. There is nothing called as that. uh, we need to understand that part, that practice is like a experience. It'll grow slowly, and it is like a process. And I have a quote for that, which I have written myself. Sometimes we are too interested in the proceedings that we forget the process itself. So we need to understand, and there are so many examples in front of us. Only if we apply them and want to learn from them, we can do that. मेरे गुरु थे जहाँ मैंने where I worked from 2001 to 2002, 2003 rather, before I shifted to full-time practice in June 2003. I did 3.5 years of half-day practice, even in 6 months in my new arena, from 1st Jan to June 2003. And he said, ये कुर्सी आपकी तशरीफ मांगती है, जब तक आप तशरीफ नहीं टिकाओगे तब तक आप नोट नहीं कमाओगे. The greenery. Now, of course, the greenery or the cash comes in different color: pink, orange, yellow, chocolate, whatever color you can say. The notes come in different color. So let me give you the 20 tips as well before I close for the day. So be prepared with finance. As I said, you need to be financially stable, even if it is by loan. But of course, the loan should not be, say, going much beyond that you will not be able to pay that. You need to understand those nuances, that loan EMI should never cross 25 to 30% of your gross income, whatever you are, say, going that way. Then if you are not ready to, no one is ready to give you a loan in the beginning, and you don't want to take that also, treat your family, take a loan from your family at 0% interest. Of course, you have to pay that back. Parents would always be willing to help you out, but try to take that as a loan so that you have the incentive in yourself to pay that back also. Then keep some amount separately as working capital. Some call it as an emergency fund as well. I always say 3 months of income, gross income, total collection, or 6 months of expenses is your emergency fund. For an average dentist, this sum can range from 3 to 7 lakhs. That can be an emergency fund. But yes, if I talk on the working capital side, we need to keep some fund if we are planning, say, keeping in mind for a future scope for growth and expansion in our practice. Then for a beginner, I always recommend, do not go for a heavy loan at the startup unless you have a, say, family income flowing in and you don't have any problems of finances. Otherwise, do not go in for a loan. I am a son of a banker. I teach finance also pan India, teaching students or teaching, say, colleagues how to file ITRs, how to make balance sheet, how to manage your personal finances. Of course, I'm still a dentist first, still doing 8 to 9 hours of private practice, and that is still my first love. What I want to tell you is that I'm a son of banker, learned most of things from my dad. Yes, I'm be a finance side as well, but I always advise never going for a loan, because one loan is one thing which will always be, say, uh, pulling you down, even if you want to grow further in life. Or if you want to go in for a loan, as I said, never cross more than 25 to 30% of your average income. Then if you are going for a loan, make it sure it is a limited amount. And again, the difference always comes that private banks will give you without collateral. Collateral means koi bhi girvi cheez rakhe bina, as I say, without any collateral, but their processing and their EMI and the rate of interest will be high. The national bank, the processing is slow. They'll want to keep a collateral, and the EMI and the ROI will be low. Sometimes we don't have the patience, so we prefer a private bank. So we need to understand the nuances between the two things. Then I always say, as I said, take a loan from your family and pay back at 0% gradually. You should pay back. It's not that you should treat that as a gift. Then a normal gestation period, as I said, it is more than the pregnancy, but it should be minimum 2 to 3 years for any clinic. Occasionally, people might be lucky, might be fortunate, might be, say, having a chappadhad income, but a normal clinic will take about 2 to 3 years. Then always, before opening up, make a list of interior equipment which you have to buy surely, like AC, curtains or blinds, furniture, autoclave, UV chamber, surgical equipment, instruments, materials, consumables. All these lists should be handy. Make a plan, make a system, then go about this task. Always have a strategy in mind. Then do a thorough research. Don't fall for bargain buys कि एग्जीबिशन में डील मिल रही है तो ये खरीद ले. Whenever you go in for a bargain buy, you'll end up burning more money rather than, say, spending more money. Then make a list of the companies, branded, non-branded, whatever you can choose. I'm not a big fan of branded companies, but yes, I strictly avoid Chinese companies. Yeah, their distribution channels, service paradigm, even if it is for a chair also. We are lucky we are sitting in Ludhiana. We have a good, say, technician backup, company backup over here. But people might be in those towns where there might not be good service backup. And always pick a chair, choose a chair where the service network is very strong, where you can get a chair service at, say, at a call, at a simple call. And I have visited those areas where the technician takes about 4 days to come if the chair goes wrong, and they have multi patient practice, so they have put up the third chair just to overcome that fear of one chair going bad or one chair going wrong. Then take a feedback or opinion from your peers or friends in your area who actually have been buying things from dealers. Do not trust anyone on hearsay. People will promise you moon, people will leave you midway. You need to really understand. Then the major areas would be service standards of any dealer, their payment module, their warranty honoring, their after sale service. You all get from your peers and colleagues. You all will get all the data from information. The only thing is that dentist interaction is very less unless he or she is a friend and is sitting in a different area. Rarely we see people from a same area intermingling with each other, and that is where I don't know where this that insecurity or the jealousy factor comes in into the dentist. So initially invest in equipment that will enhance your treatment quality, but don't overdo and invest in everything that you desire. Leave the Facebook approach, leave that white line approach only. Leave, if you are not fascinated by endo work, leave that fascination for white lines. So warranties, after sales service and parts availability are the three issues which for any equipment are very mandatory. Always ask the details. Is it a warranty or a guarantee, or is it an on-site or off-site? And prefer to take the warranty part in written also, because people will always try to give you a verbal thing. Nobody gives you in written. Then for consumables, I said don't go in for bargain deals. If you have to go in for a bargain deal, say gather with 2 3 like-minded colleagues, and then say split up that portions. Then that is a good way to do that. Or have a long expiry products. Rarely you will find a product more than 2 to 3 year expiry. So I'll always recommend having a colleague deal as well. So then do your research, have your feedback, and of course your budget. Never be in a haste or a hurry to do the same. Haste always makes waste. So then always count your expenses. कि God forbid, भगवान ना करे आपके पास कोई पेशेंट नहीं आया, आपका लैब बिल तो चलो नहीं होगा, कोई मटेरियल भी आप लेके बैठे हैं तो कोई नहीं होगा, तो आपका रेवेन्यू भी लेकिन कोई नहीं है. लेट्स प्रिज्यूम कुछ नहीं आता पहले 1 महीने 2 महीने, या पीनट इनकम आती है. What are your expenses? How you need to pay that back? You need to realize that you need to make that calculation. Then start with minimum staff or minimum overhead or expenditure, so that you don't have a huge say expenditure in the beginning itself. Then networking, as I said, with the nearby shopkeepers or business owners will help you a lot, and that will generate a lot of patients for you. Ultimately they can send you the patients, but the turnover part is beyond you. The internal marketing, how you treat the patient, SAB or SAB, as I told you. Then learn from others mistakes. This is the third time I'm saying this line. It is inexpensive, I will say, rather it is free. It is the one thing you need to realize. So I hope you all have a eureka moment now. So let me give you the last 4 carry home points. First, have a clear vision of whom you want to treat, whether you want to do a mass practice or a class practice. Then back yourself, trust your abilities, trust your decisions. Let go of your inbuilt fears. Agar, if is a big word. It may be a 2 letter word, but it is a big word. अगर ये ना हुआ तो, अगर वो हो गया तो, अगर ये हो गया तो. All those things we attract all the negative things from the universe. So be positive. Always trust your instincts. Always trust your abilities, because unless you do, people won't do that. So these were the few guidelines. So the last line, it is easy. Say कोकोनट तोड़ना, नारियल तोड़ना और पूजा करना बहुत आसान है, but the real difficult part starts or follows after that. And trust me, these lines are coming after almost 21 years of experience. And if I'm saying so, you ought to believe at least a few parts of this, if not all. So thank you so much for a patient hearing. before I say stop sharing my screen, a few announcements. I have a YouTube channel by going by my name. My social media presence is by my name only, Dr. Bhavdeep, DRBHAVDEEP. Facebook, Insta, Twitter, whatever social media presence I have is by my name only. So mm, there are more than 130 videos over there, and you can say be benefited from that. If you want to uh, uh, learn from there, go to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I usually post 1 to 2 videos every week. So for the past 2 weeks I haven't posted any video, but before that, for the past 5 weeks I have posted about 17 videos or 15 videos each week. So this is my address, email, website, if you want to visit or if you want to get in touch with me. So one thing I always appreciate is the feedback, whatever way, a message or a WhatsApp or SMS or whatever way you can do that. Please do that. This is my number. Bouquets and brickbats both would be welcome in equal measure from all of you. So thank you. And I stop my share for the questions. Any questions? I just change my settings so that you can unmute yourself and ask any questions if there are.
So if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask Dr. Bhavdeep questions.
Please feel free to ask. We are all peers in profession, as I said earlier also.
And in case you're still contemplating what is it that you would want to ask, you're very welcome to go ahead and contact sir on his email ID on the website, on the channels. You can leave a comment. You can go ahead and directly write to him. They're probably still thinking about the questions, sir. And I'm going to take this opportunity to then thank you most profoundly for your time, for being with us. It's always said that if we could sell our experience for what it has cost us, we would all be millionaires. So thank you very much for sharing your $1 million experiences with us. You've given us so much food for thought on one platter, on how to set up a clinic, on how to have a skill set, on how to have a collateral skill set. You see, what I'm taking away from your deliberation today is that I need to learn how to go ahead and change the headlight of my dental chair as well. So I hope that you all have also taken in a lot of points together. Yes, two things that must go hand in hand is one, your skill set, as sir has very rightly pointed out, and your astuteness with your empathy. And we all must remember that if God be with me, who can be against me? And it's all right for all of us to have butterflies in our tummy when we start off with something new. But I hope and pray that we all can have these butterflies flying in a certain formation. So here's to you all having a plan, and here's to you all executing that plan in entirety. Thank you so very much once again, Dr. Bhavdeep, for this wonderful deliberation at your end. And may I now request Dr. Kalsi to please conclude this session.
Well, Dr. Bhavdeep, it was a very overwhelming lecture for some of my interns, I'm pretty sure. You know, look at their faces. मैं देखो जिमें हवाइयाँ उड़ियाँ होंदियां ना सारे दियां. Huh? I mean, they are all puzzled and dazzled. You've sort of set the cat among the pigeons. The cakewalk that they thought they would be having, you know, you've actually unsettled their plans. And that's exactly what I wanted you to do. Dr. Bhavdeep, let me also tell you that whenever I have been teaching my students, also this batch, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ with their masks on, they look pretty that way ਵੈਸੇ otherwise, no? So my students have always been told by me that it is only going to be 10% of them who are going to be actually, you know, making it in dentistry, not more than 10%. And the reason for all that to be happening is your lecture. I mean, all the reasons have been, you know, summed up or rather been explained wonderfully well in that lecture. Now, the 10% who have imbibed and who get the meaning of what you are saying and who would follow even a bit of what you've put in so far, I mean, they are the people who are going to be successful. These are the hard facts in life. Dr. Bhavdeep, if after 21 years also is still, believes that he's still struggling with some things, anyone who is 40 years into the practice is also struggling. Times change, the requirements change. So if you don't change with times, I mean, you'll be just swept away. You'll just be nature the rule hai. If you are not adaptive, you'll change. You'll be out. One of the adaptation that is required for all of you to be making is to be well versed with all what you need to know today, not what I taught you. My time is maybe 4 years earlier. I started 4 years earlier than Bhavdeep, I suppose. Maybe 5 years, 10 years. How does it make a difference? So, जो मेरे time थे true सीगा, it's not going to be true today. And जो ਤੁਹਾਡੇ time थे when you start, it's not going to be true 5 years down the line. So you got to change, you got to innovate. You have to understand the finances. You have to understand the small little things that will make you successful. So I thank you, Dr. Bhavdeep, for actually giving them all a good wake-up call. One of the major things which is pulling down youth today is actually this social media business. Now, I'm not trying to get into your sphere. All I'm trying to suggest today is that people would want to use social media to their advantage. For some reason, today's generation is ਸਾਰੇ fashion ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਅਟਕ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. I don't know. It begins there, it stops there. Even in the college campus, when I'm looking out of my office or I'm just walking around, I'll find so many of my students, taking selfies, asking their colleagues to be taking photographs. Oh, photographs are ki karna? They are just not memories. Part of them will be, but most of them are intended to go into social media to make their friends, their contacts be jealous of them. They go, see, look, when I am lecturing my students, ਮੈਂ ਬੜੀ ਵਾਰ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਨੋਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਲਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬੜੀ ਵਾਰ ਨੋਟ ਕਰਦਾ. I mean, they lived on borrowed time and money. Borrowed money in the sense, even ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਿਸੇ parent ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ gift ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ borrowed time and money ਹੋਈ ਹੈ. I mean, they'll be going in for brands which they ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇੜੇ ਵੀ afford ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਅੱਜ income ਆਪਣੀ start ਕਰ ਲੈਣ. That is what finances are all about. People will be driving into big limousines and into the college, I mean, with their, again, parents, DNA, sariyan cheezan, and this sets the mindset, in the totally wrong direction. That it gives you a sense of entitlement, I suppose, है ना? और बस जिद्दन entitlement ਦਾ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਹ ਜੰਗਾਲ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ 'ਚ. It's very good you have people to support you, but like Dr. Bhavdeep said, very soon you got to be fending for yourself. So if the habits are not curtailed today, if the concept is not reined in today, if you do not start to think of life practically as is now, as is you would be able to afford in the next few months to years, ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਕੁ ਦੇਰ ਉਹ borrowed time and money ਤੇ ਰਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ? Not many, no? So if we can't do that, it's high time you start to, make a plan for yourself. It's high time you start to think about these things. It's high time to sort of develop your skills and also, plan how you go about doing, achieving all the goals that you set for yourself. Now is the time to be working hard. Now is not the time to show off. Show off li bahut time aayega aage. Once you are successful, ऐसे काम ते ही रहना बहुत है. So now is the time. Work hard. And this is the reason why we have webinars. Why we've drawn you out from the clinics to listen to someone of the like of Dr. Bhavdeep telling you of these things. Not many will speak about such topics. They are very touchy things, and they require a lot of, time to master all these concepts. It's not easy. What Dr. Bhavdeep has talked in the last 1 hour, I think this has taken him years to, to formulate and to design out the content of the lecture. So I hope you imbibe maybe even a bit of it, if you can. These are life-changing concepts, life-changing ideas. So good luck to all of you. And at the end of the day, I actually wish you very well. But when I said that 10%, I also know the reality. और मजे की गल यही है भी, like I have always told you, we don't know which 10%. So each one of you will have an equal, chance of success. Each one of you. And once you are successful, again, remember, there's no guarantee you're going to remain there till you continue to follow all the advice put forth by my good friend, Dr. Bhavdeep. So again, it's a dynamic group, that 10%. ਇਹ ਉੱਤੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ. So you continue to work hard, continue to be disciplined, and continue to be on track. You remain in the 10%. You start to take it easy, someone else replaces you in the 10%. So I pray that each one of you, really, really make it to the 10%. So God bless you all. Thank you, Dr. Bhavdeep, for a wonderful, wonderful, talk. I listened to the entire thing, very intently. Normally in webinars, because we have a DCI inspection coming up any day, so I would maybe excuse myself out. That's what I had told Dr. Sunaina, that if I walk out of the thing, sort of in a way, please apologize on my behalf, and I am sure Dr. Bhavdeep will understand. But the lecture was so engrossing and was so informative, I have not left out even a second of it. So thank you very much, and good luck to you. May God give you more time and wisdom to keep compiling all the thoughts, and give you more opportunities to share all this with your colleagues and with our future dentists. And with the present dentists, of course, people need to be changing their concepts with time. So thank you very much. Good luck. Thank you, boss.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure was all mine. Thank you, Dr. Sunaina.
Thank you very much, sir. And now, sir, permission to adjourn, sir.
Good luck. All the best.
Thank you.
Good luck to everyone. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you once again. Thank you all.